As they come around the final turn, the Lotus Evora pulls off, and it's up to Domenico Ferlito to lead them away, and he needs to be just a little bit more in front of Andrea Larini as they come out, and he is. He crossed the stripe. Well, Domenico Ferlito, he's done what he needs to do and gets out quick, but watch out for Camilo Zurka behind him, and Christian Klein on board the number 54. That's Tonio Liuzzi. He needs to get past everybody. He's done something on the BMWs, but he's on the outside. And I expect Norbert to get up the inside. I think Norbert's gone. Oh, number 40. That's one of the BMWs is off. Not too sure who it is at the moment. Oh, it's the Giudici. It's this Norbert Michelisz, who spun out. So the crowd won't be liking that. Norbert's going to have to do a lot from way back there. But Domenico Ferlito, well, I think that's Zurka just behind him. Zurka's really quick. And Domenico Ferlito, though, is using that supercharged 5-litre engine as you need to do. And behind them, it's Larini, Biaggi and Liuzzi. So Liuzzi's made a good start. He's up to 5th in front of Klein. And, just a corner too much for Domenico Ferlito. And he's relegated now. And soon Larini will be behind him, will be past him. Liuzzi's going to take advantage of that as well, and he does. So lost 4 places in one corner does Domenico Ferlito. Didn't expect him to stay at the front for that long. Remember, we got 23 minutes, 42 seconds, plus 1 lap of all of this. So already it was very, very quick for Ferlito. Very, very quick off the line, but unfortunately a corner too much and the pressure just got to him. And there further down, Thomas Scheffler in front of Paolo Miloni and Francesco Cini and Stefano Gabellini. So a lot of work needed to do from the back, but Liuzzi's doing exactly what he needs to do. And poor old Michelisz down in 13th place now, and the crowd won't like that. On board with Tonio Liuzzi, number 54, and with 4 cars in front of him, needing to maximise the power of that Mercedes to get past Tom Biaggi and Larini, who are in front of him. But Camilo Zurka right out in front. There he is, and he's quick here. And look at the gap he's opened up over his teammate. Larini in 2nd place. Liuzzi's on the outside of Biaggi. Biaggi won't mind about that. He knows that Liuzzi's going to go nowhere from there. And Ferlito, well, he slots into 5th place. He's still there. Needs to calm down a little bit. Behind Ferlito, Gianni Morbidelli in 6th place. So he's made up some places as well. So I expect Gianni Morbidelli, if his engine holds up, to make up more, get past Ferlito as quickly as possible, and try to close that gap on Liuzzi. Liuzzi, for the first time, will be testing his tyres around here because he's got people to pass if he's going to do anything about Camilo Zurka. And this is the start again. Ferlito making a good start of this. Christian Klein around the outside, and that was Norbert Michelisz. And it looked like a little bit of a tag from behind that spun him round. We're playing with the big boys now. This is not just WTCC. This is the big Superstars V8s. And, it was a tag. It was just a little tag from Zurka, who wanted to get up the inside, which put Ferlito back. So it wasn't Ferlito's fault. I do apologise to you. But look at this now. 54, Tonio Liuzzi. And now behind him, Morbidelli is coming hard. It's the Camozzi Audi just behind the BMW now. Ferlito, there's Clean and Fumi and Schuffler and Maloney and Cini in that order. And Tom Biaggi in a bit of a problem now because Tonio Liuzzi has got past him with the power of that Mercedes. And Biaggi just definitely won't want Morbidelli to go past either. But this is the real battle, I would say, on the track. Camilo Zerka's got away. Gianni Morbidelli, fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 57.3 versus who's close to him? Who else is close to him? 157.8, Camilo Zerka out in the lead. So half a second quicker than the leader is Gianni Morbidelli. Can he maximise that? He needs to get past Biaggi. Biaggi's a brilliant driver. And if anybody can keep Morbidelli behind for long enough, it is Tom Biaggi. Meanwhile, Liuzzi goes setting after Camilo Zerka, but he's nearly 4 seconds down, and that is a big gap. Camilo Zerka's definitely got the bit between his teeth here, but still pulling away is Liuzzi from Tom Biaggi. Morbidelli's all over him like a rash, and then comes Ferlito and Clean and Schuffler. Number 9, Paolo Miloni, Stefano Gabellini just behind him. And behind Gabellini, Michelisz not doing too well. 2 minutes 0.5 for Michelisz. And the slowest, well, I think Ferlito, number 30. Oh, we've just seen that one. That's Gianni Giudici. He's one of the star drivers out here. One of the older guys. And facing the wrong way. But he's fairly well down the order. Kristoffersson. So something's happened to Kristoffersson, which we haven't seen because he is out of this race. Puts him down in 16th place, but it says 1 lap. And when it says 1 lap, to me, it means that there's something terminal wrong with the car. And he's not racing at the moment. So whatever's happened to Kristoffersson, you might have seen it while I was looking somewhere else, down at my paperwork, at the screen, whatever. And look at that, a 4-wheel drift for Gianni Morbidelli. He is really pushing hard. And he's done and dusted with Tom Biaggi now after Tonio Liuzzi. It says number 4 and number 30 under investigation. Fumi and Camilo Zerka as well, your leader under investigation. So stewards having a look at something that we don't know about from both of them. Your leader, well, watch out for a prop. I hope they don't slap him with a drive-through penalty. That will be cruel luck indeed. Fumi, Ferlito just in front of him, this big battle over 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th places. Ferlito in the Jaguar, then it's Fumi. Then there's Tom Schuffler. Behind Schuffler is Paolo Miloni. Behind Paolo Miloni, Stefano Gabellini and Norbert Michelisz in 11th place. 157.2, he is quicker. He needs to get past these, but he's trying so hard, kicks up dust on the outside. That was from right at the back. That's a Giudici BMW that you're looking at right now. Norbert Michelisz, number 43, needs to do something to get past all these because they're holding him up big style. And the chances of a podium place every corner slip further and further away from the Hungarian ace. I think he's just passed one there. No, he hasn't. Still hasn't got past Stefano Gabellini. Gabellini, massively experienced and very difficult to pass. But it is Ferlito who's holding them all up from the front. And right on the back now of Tonio Liuzzi is Gianni Morbidelli. Just put in the fastest lap again. 155.863, so he's really on a mission. Liuzzi, 156.1. Camilo Zerka, 156.5. So they're still closing that gap. It's only 3.4 seconds to the leader now from Liuzzi and Morbidelli. And Morbidelli right holding on to the belt of Liuzzi. Goes up the inside. Liuzzi can do nothing about it. Knows that the superior traction of the brand new RS5 has got him. Now, what can Morbidelli do? And again, another fastest lap from Gianni Morbidelli, even passing Liuzzi, 155.578. Zerka, 156.7, so it's 1.2 seconds faster than Camilo Zerka. Morbidelli is on, we can't say this, how many times have I said he's on a mission? He is on fire here. And Tonio Liuzzi just needs to keep it cool, calm and collected because he's got a sweet handling Mercedes, even though it's heavy. He's got some power in a straight line. It looks like he's already got a cracked screen in front of him. That won't distract him too much. But there's the gap now, 2.8 between Zerka and Morbidelli. And again, That's a nice controlled four-wheel drift from the Audi Italia ace Morbidelli in second place. Fermi now up to 6, Scheffler, Miloni, Gavellini. Domenico Ferlito's fallen down the order to 10th place. Don't know, must have had a problem, but he's just in front of Michelisz, Norbert Michelisz. 1.6 seconds behind him, so Michelisz has fallen off the pace here, sitting in 12th place. Larini in 13th, then Paolo Miloni. And Gianni Giarducci in 15th. Kristoffersson is out of this. Don't know what happened to the Swede, but the Swedish elk, his lucky charm, he should have probably left it on the car. Oh, look at this. Liuzzi under threat now, once again from Tom Biaggi. And Christian Klein all over the back of them as well. Even with that wide Maserati Quattroporte, he is on the case. Liuzzi is not having it all his own way, definitely in race 2. Had to start from row 4. And now Tom Biaggi's coming back at him. He passed Tom Biaggi under power a couple of laps ago, but Tom Biaggi, well, as I said, the sweet handling BMW and the work that Tony Liuzzi's had to do with that Mercedes means that maybe his tyres are not in the kind of condition that he'd like to keep them in. He's really had to fight for this. Top 5, possibly, for Liuzzi, but with... oh no, Morbidelli's out again! Oh, calamity! What happened here? Do we get a look at it? It's an engine problem. He's pulled straight off. And I think that engine problem has surfaced again from putting the fastest lap in the race. Yellow flag now out on turn 13. That's where he is. Almost the last hairpin before you come onto the main start and finish straight. And what could you do? Poor old Morbidelli has done everything asked of him. He's been absolutely blisteringly quick. And the car, the brand new RS5, has let him down again. Well, that promotes Liuzzi into second place and gives Camilo Zerka a bit of breathing space out in front with the Romeo Ferraris Mercedes. It's 2 Mercedes with Tom Biaggi's BMW following them, and Christian Klein all over the back as well. You're looking at the fight for second place now. Every race so far this season, it's been drama and lots of showtime shouldering through the pack for many of the drivers. There's been some brilliant racing and some absolute disasters, and this season is one to forget so far for Gianni Morbidelli. The car has let him down. His driving absolutely blistering, 155.578, and then the engine. So the replacement engine, it didn't solve the problems. The car's cut out again. And is that Gianni Giarducci? No, that's Norbert Michelisz who's come in. I think that was Gianni Giarducci behind him who's also come in. So problems for both of the Giarducci BMWs. And the entire team out of the race. The crowd won't like that at all. Michelisz pits in. Gianni Giarducci, I thought that was him from the back. Oh, terrible news. But Tom Scheffler, well, maybe he's inheriting something here. Managed to get past Fumi now into 5th place. But there's a big gap between Klein in 4th and Tom Scheffler now in 5th. And Tom Scheffler is the only Audi RS5 left on the track, but he's got an 8-second deficit to Klein in 4th place. And he's still under a little bit of pressure behind him. Fumi's still there, kicking up dust all over Paolo Miloni's car behind him, BMW, and then Stefano Gavellini. And Paolo Miloni is, you know, all the little things that you'll see down through this race. Paolo Miloni is really marking his card here as far as BMW drivers are concerned, because passing Stefano Gavellini, former race winner, and that was the first of the problems for Norbert Michelisz at the start here, and it sent the other Audis, Kristoffersson, wide as well. So I think Kristoffersson might have had a problem from that first corner melee, and Tom Scheffler back as well. And that little tag on Domenico Ferlito's Jaguar put Camilo Zerka out in front and demoted Ferlito in the Ferlito Motors Jaguar down to 5th place, because Tom Biaggi went past him as well. This is earlier on in the race, basically the first lap. There is Camilo Zerka, and there is Tony Liuzzi. in front of Tom Biaggi, I think, again. So power counts, and Antonio Liuzzi upholds the honour of Formula One racing. But Tom Biaggi, well, he tried everything to break away from Antonio Liuzzi, but Liuzzi is sweet on the second sector of the track, but has come back at him. Carl Racing looking on, and Liuzzi's girlfriend also looking on. I think Liuzzi has bought her a club in Italy, so I think she owns her own discotheque club in Italy, courtesy of Tonio. Fastest lap now from Tom Biaggi, who's even faster than the flying Gianni Morbidelli. 155.55 now, 9 now for Tom Biaggi in that chase down from Liuzzi, so he definitely hasn't given up, and clean there as well. Just put in his fastest lap of the race, 155.66. Liuzzi 155.65, his fastest lap of the race. Tom Scheffler on his fastest lap, 156.59, but he's not closing that gap on clean. So the gap now up to 8.9 seconds between 4th and 5th, between clean and Scheffler. Your current leader, Camilo Zurka, and he has put in a 156.2. That's versus a 155.6 for Liuzzi. The gap coming down again, 3.1 seconds to your leader. And under 10 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Romeo Ferraris has put a lot of faith in this guy. Camilo Zurka, Colombian again. And, well, could it be 2 wins from 2 different drivers for Romeo Ferraris? Andrea has had his time on the podium, Larini that is, and now it could be the 6th winner if he stays out in front. He's got 9.5 minutes to do it. Tom Biaggi still pushing hard on Antonio Liuzzi. Liuzzi's just put in another of his fastest laps on the race, 155.623. It's really consistent driving he's doing. So Biaggi has 155.624, just 1/1000th of a second slower than Liuzzi. So that gap not changing at all. Christian Klein putting in his fastest lap on the race yet again, 155.640. Tight as you like at the top. Tom Scheffler putting in his fastest lap, but it's still too slow to bridge that gap, and still losing time on Christian Klein in the Maserati Quattroporte, and that's the gap. 2.2 seconds now between Liuzzi and Biaggi. Can they close it? Have they got enough time to do it? 8.5 minutes to go. Going to need to pause and take a drink soon, because this is fraught with danger and problems, because they're all pushing very hard. They are close to the limit of what they're doing around here. Liuzzi, I'm trying to think of what he can do with that. Oh, there's Domenico Filito. So both the Jaguars out. Filito out of this. City's got in front of him. So City now holds 9th place. And I think, how many have we got left in the race? I think we've only got 11 drivers left in the race. We've lost Michelisz, Giarducci, Gianni Morbidelli, Christopherson, Max Mugelli, Mauro Cesare, Max Pigoli didn't start this race, all due to technical problems and crashes in the first race. Tom Biaggi, though, it's so close. Oh, Liuzzi. Oh, slow into the corner. Tom Biaggi wanting to take advantage, can't do it. And of course, that Mercedes punches out of corners. It uses the torque. But Tom Biaggi needs to be closer in the corner to take advantage of any slip sliding away that Antonio Liuzzi will do. 1.4 seconds is the gap between Liuzzi and Zurka now. 7 minutes, 16 seconds plus 1 lap to go. Antonio Liuzzi and Camilo Zurka can see his chances slipping away. Needs to keep calm and collected. And he's got the same machine. He's got a Mercedes underneath him, as has Liuzzi. But Zurka is not an ex-Formula One driver. Liuzzi is. Biaggi, absolute top BMW touring car driver, staying with Liuzzi and pressuring him all the way. Just 0.6 of a second behind Liuzzi. Put in a good lap here and opened up a tiny little bit of a gap over Biaggi behind him, but one has to wonder how long his tyres are going to last. That's a number 3, looking down at Paolo Miloni. Stefano Gabellini passes him back up the inside. So Gabellini takes the honours back off Paolo Miloni, involved in their own dice, down over 7th and 8th place here. And that gap to Zurka is closing all the time. Tom Biaggi still going with Liuzzi here. And, well, I think Christian Klein being dropped just a little from the ferocious battle between over second place between Liuzzi and Biaggi, and he's closing all the time to Camilo Zurka. That gap, I think one more lap and that gap will have closed. And look at Liuzzi fighting the car. The tyres are starting to show that they are absolutely at their limit, and he's still got nearly 6 minutes plus 1 lap to go around here. Biaggi, he's seen that, then he's closed up again. Can Christian Klein do anything about closing that gap? Because all the time Tom Biaggi stays behind Liuzzi, and Liuzzi struggles with his tyres. Little puff of smoke out the back of that as Liuzzi applies the loud pedal again and pulls away down the straight from Tom Biaggi. Tom will wait for the corners, knows he's got a little bit in hand around here, and as soon as you get to the corners, well, Liuzzi has to lift and drift it and float it around the corners, just hoping his tyres and just playing with the grip levels, hoping his tyres will mean that nothing catches him by surprise without being pressured. Liuzzi is very, very quick around here. The gap last time they crossed the start-finish stripe was 1.2 between Liuzzi and Zurka, and you can see that closing all the time. Less than 5 minutes to run here, plus 1 lap. Liuzzi still closing on Camilo Zurka. Can Zurka hold out? Can Tom Biaggi close in the second sector of this track? And that's Paolo. No, that's not. That's Tom Schuffler, the MTM Audi. All Audis out of this race now. And smoke. Little haze of smoke coming off the back of that, so all the Audis out of this. Problems always with new cars, but you don't expect to have them all out of the race. So no points scored for any of the Audi drivers, and Camilo Zurka will want to maximise this. Tonino Liuzzi wants to go out of this as the only driver with 3 wins, but he is smoking now. There's a lot of smoke pouring out the back of that. Under power. We don't know where it comes from. Is it the gearbox? Is it the transmission? Could it be the engine? But you don't expect that from Carl Racing Mercedes. And Tom Biaggi once again closes right up on him. 3 3/4 minutes plus 1 lap left to go. On board with Tom Biaggi in the Team Dynamics, soaring at the wheel. Even he's struggling with grip levels out of that final corner. You really do need to push the power as early and as hard as possible out of that final corner to maximise your speed down the start and finish straight. The BMW is not slow, but that's Mercedes in a straight line has got the torque to move giant redwoods out of California and transpose them to Bavaria or somewhere in Germany anyway. Camilo Zurka, number 30, still in the lead, and he's maintained that lead over the past lap by just 1/10, less than 1/10 of a second. He's only lost on that. He knows Liuzzi's coming, needs to keep a cool head. Mario Ferraris, the team manager, said he's very, very quick around here. But so is Christian Klein, hasn't been dropped at all. Tom Biaggi still pressuring Liuzzi, still wants to push him. Liuzzi seeing Zurka in front of him, thinks about closing that gap, but it's 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. And you're thinking, well, maybe Liuzzi's thinking, I need to save my tyres. I know Tom Biaggi's behind me. If I push too hard to close down on Camilo Zurka, maybe I'll do my tyres too much damage and then I'll lose a place and time to Tom Biaggi behind him. He's thinking tactically here. He's not pushing too hard on Zurka, and that could put Zurka out of reach of Tom Biaggi as well, because Tom hasn't been able to get past Liuzzi. Klein still there, waiting to pick up the pieces in 4th place. He will definitely want a podium place. And can he do anything on the battle here? Look at that. Oh, brake lights come on for Liuzzi, but no room for Tom Biaggi to pass. Tom Biaggi won't be getting frustrated. He'll just look at that inside the corner. Liuzzi goes a little bit wide, but not wide enough for Tom Biaggi to do anything about it. Still closing on Zurka now as they cross the line. 0.9 of a second between Liuzzi and Zurka. They'll have this lap plus one more to go. So this is the penultimate lap. And now Clean is searching. He's searching for to see how much his brakes would last on that. But the tyres said, no way are you going to do that. But he's got enough in hand. That was his charge to grab a podium place. But that is all gone now. First corner blues for Christian Clean. But Tom Biaggi and Antonio Liuzzi didn't make that mistake. And I'm surprised that Christian Clean did do that. Probably a brake test on himself to see if he could have enough brakes and the tyres would have enough life left in them for that move. And that shows that lack of time on board the Swiss team, Maserati Quattroporte, dealing with the weight of these machines and the degradation of tyres over time in the race. Camilo Zerka, he's driving a brilliant race here to stave off Liuzzi, but Liuzzi's driving his own race, needs to keep Tom Biaggi behind him. So far he's been able to do it. 25 seconds left on this as they cross the stripe. They will be starting their last race, the last lap of this race. And can Tom Biaggi do anything about it? I think this is the battle on track. I don't think Liuzzi is going to go after Zerka. All he needs to do is preserve his tyres. Look at Tom Biaggi, Tom up the inside. And, oh, as cool as you like, but look at that, power comes on. The next corner will favour Liuzzi. Tom Biaggi puts himself in a place to try to maximise his chances if Liuzzi has a little bit of a drift. But Liuzzi doesn't. Smooth driving is the order of the day here for Liuzzi. Stays in front. Tom didn't push too much there because he doesn't want to lose a chance, another chance at going at Liuzzi. 1.2 seconds now, the gap between Liuzzi and Zerka. Zerka driving his own race, Liuzzi driving his race to stay on the podium, or stay in that second place on the podium. Clean, closing back, but won't have a chance to do it. It is the final lap now. And can Liuzzi keep Biaggi behind him? Biaggi too far away to do anything at the moment. Liuzzi sees Zerka in front of him and just needs to keep it calm and collected around here. Tom Biaggi now starting to close up. Can he do it from here in the slipstream behind Antonio Liuzzi? He's only got a couple of corners to try to pass this Carl Racing Mercedes. Oh, and a beautiful drift from Liuzzi, keeps the Mercedes online. BMW can do nothing about it. Now he's going to have a look up the inside. He touches, and that means Liuzzi's out. He didn't have a chance to do anything about it. It's taken some bodywork off. He'll come back at him. Clean's gone through. Liuzzi did everything he could to keep Biaggi behind him. Biaggi, though, well, he needed to have a go at that, but it was a tag too much. And I think that might... I don't know whether anything will be said about that. Zerka away and scot-free with this one. That means we're going to look at the sixth winner here. There was a gap to go through for that. But Liuzzi stuck to his line. And Tom Biaggi, well, I don't think he was passed far enough for Liuzzi to see him. I don't know what the stewards are going to make of that. Tom Biaggi did have room to attack. Liuzzi should have been watching his mirrors. He knows that Biaggi would have been coming back at him, but he really did have the line for the corner. And I think both Biaggi and Liuzzi will have their own verdict on what happened there, but I don't think Liuzzi had enough. Zerka crosses the line for the sixth winner in Superstars this year. Christian Clean inherits second place and a podium. Tom Biaggi gets there. Liuzzi across the line, 5 seconds down on Biaggi and 14 seconds down on the leader. Fumi, brilliant to get fifth place in front of Gabellini, in front of Miloni. Cini comes home in eighth place. Andrea Larini will be next along. And, well, that's all that's left on the track because Thomas Schuffler, Federico Folito, Miloni, Michelisz, Giudici, Morbidelli, Christopherson, et al. Not finishing this race. Definitely a race of attrition. And, well, awesome from start to finish, but Camilo Zerka and Mario Ferraris will be ecstatic about that. He'll say that you've done a great job as a Hungarian flag goes out and all of the marshals, flags are waving. So enthusiastic about this race here in Hungary. First time we've come to Hungary. Body damage for Tom Biaggi, but he gets a podium place. And Camilo Zerka, glove comes out and he waves to everybody. And the marshals, the colourful, they come right up to the side of the track, waving frantically with all different hats on. I think there's something special about Hungary with hats because everybody's got different headgear. We've seen Nordic wigs, we've seen flowers, we've seen top hats, we've seen everything with the marshals around here. Photographers close to the track, well, they can be, but you know that if we're anywhere else, particularly in the UK, the security will be all over them when you get back. But here the marshals say the race is over. Well done to these guys. And Camilo Zerka from Colombia, the 6th winner in Superstars in 10 races, starts to put his name forward. And that was a clever race as well. A very clever race. Did exactly what Tonio Liuzzi wanted to do. Conserve his tyres through this race. And Zerka, brilliant race for him. But every race we have in Superstars, and every time I say it, it's a blast from start to finish. Down to pit lane they go. And Mario Ferraris will be there waiting for him with his cool sunglasses on. Christian Klein gets congratulations from all of the Swiss team, Maserati, engineers and staff. And a drink already there for him, Camilo Zerka and the Romeo Ferraris. Mercedes, scrape here, a scrape there, but he weathered the storm and came through. And a slight little bit of exhaustion, yeah, but yes, that's one. It's his first race win in Superstars. Mario Ferraris will think that's not going to be his last. The young Colombian stamped his mark on Superstars. Mario Ferraris gives him a hug. And Zerka, the Colombian, still hasn't had a chance to take his helmet off. Antonio Liuzzi, I wonder what's going through his mind now. But as a former Formula One driver from last year, I have a few words to say about a tag from Tom Biaggi. Comes home in 4th place, no podium for him. A thumbs up, but the smile is gone. And a little bit, he's in throwing that door closed. I think that was just a little bit of frustration coming out from Tonio Liuzzi. And a serious face for once from the Carl racing driver. And a look at the track where all this drama has unfolded. Hungaroring put together because Bernie Eccleston wanted a Formula One track in Hungary. There's your result. Camilo Zerka, the 6th winner in Superstars from Christian Klein and Tom Biaggi. Klein and Tom Biaggi, Antonio Liuzzi, Fumi in 5th place, Gabellini, Miloni and Cini, as quick as you like. So Liuzzi is credited with the podium, so they did find against Tom Biaggi for that. So Biaggi not on the podium for this one. Liuzzi gets 3rd. But Klein was the one who gained most from that, from 4th to 2nd place, due to that battle between Biaggi and Liuzzi. Biaggi being penalised 8 seconds, puts Liuzzi on the podium, and that smile is back once again for Liuzzi, though he really did want 2nd place for this. But Camilo Zerka saw everything that was happening behind him, and the Colombian on the top of the podium for this one. Mario Ferraris gets up alongside of him. Next race, here we go, Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, and it's only 2 weeks away, and it's easy to get to. Jump on the ferry across to Calais, just drive to Spa. A day trip, make it the weekend. We will see you at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium in 2 weeks' time, 14th and 15th, for absolute drama and spectacle of superstars. It's been brilliant here at Hungary. Hope we come back again, but until Spa in 2 weeks' time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.